Hi, it's Sylvester. The lighting is bad, you probably can't even see me, and I'm not going to edit this video, and I'm not going to make a custom thumbnail, so I should probably put this on my second channel, but for whatever reason, I have decided I'm putting this on my main channel. So, hi, welcome to this video. I'm going to be talking about medications and my mental health struggles. Now, the first thing I should probably mention is that I deal with my family doctor in order to get my medications, in order to, figure out what medications I should be on and what doses I should be getting of these medications. I'm working with my family doctor. I feel like this is strange because my family doctor back in 2024 referred me to a psychiatrist, and I saw that psychiatrist exactly one time, and she diagnosed me with a bunch of stuff. I have many diagnoses, and then I never saw her again because she just referred me back to my family doctor. And so I deal with my family doctor. He's the one who prescribes me my medication. He's the one that I work with to try to figure out what medications I should be on and how high of a dose I should be on of each medication. And again, I've spoken to some people, and apparently this is weird. Apparently, most people deal directly with their psychiatrist, and their psychiatrist is the one who prescribes them medication. But again, for whatever reason, I am working with my family doctor, not a psychiatrist. So, yeah, that does concern me a little bit because family doctor, I love my family doctor. He's great and I trust him, and I know that he's like very well educated, and but like he's not a specialist, you know and it would probably make me more comfortable if I was dealing directly with a psychiatrist, but I'm not. And again, I do love and trust my doctor. It's just, he's this isn't specifically what he went to school for. You know what I mean? So part of me does kind of doubt his expertise a little bit because it feels like it has taken a lot for me to find the right cocktail of medications to actually help with my mental health struggles. And I had a bit of like I knew going into it when I first started on medications that it takes time to figure out which medications are right for you, to figure out what doses you should be on. It takes time. I just didn't think it would take this long. I guess it's only been like a year, but like there's a lot of trial and error, like a lot of trial and error, and like specifically a lot of error. And again, I'm not blaming my family doctor. I'm not saying he's a bad doctor. I'm just saying, again, this isn't his specialty. So maybe he doesn't entirely know what he's doing. But, anyways, so here's the story. In early-ish 2024, I went on medications. First, I went on an anti-anxiety medication. I saw a psychiatrist. I went to the hospital in 2023 several times, and they referred me to a psychiatrist who put me on anti-anxiety medications. But I was clearly experiencing psychosis at the time, so I'm really frustrated with this psychiatrist because, like, why didn't he give me antipsychotics? I clearly needed antipsychotics, but all he would give me were anti-anxiety medications, or an anti-anxiety medication. And so I was very frustrated with this guy. He was not a great psychiatrist. I am glad that I don't have to see him regularly because I, again, did not like him, did not think he really treated me very nicely. So I went to my family doctor, and my family doctor referred me to a psychiatrist. And I saw her exactly one time. She diagnosed me with a bunch of things and then immediately referred me back to my family doctor. And so I technically have a psychiatrist, but again, I've only ever seen her once, and I don't think that that's normal, but whatever. I guess maybe there's a shortage of psychiatrists. Who knows? I'm not an expert. So I get put on medication. I was put on an antipsychotic finally, which basically cured my psychosis, which is great because if you don't know, I had a psychotic episode that lasted over 4 years, so I really, really needed antipsychotics. So I'm so thankful I was able to get those. They changed my life. They saved my life. And then I was put on, I was already on an anti-anxiety medication, and I was put on an antidepressant, and I believe I was put on a fourth medication, but I don't remember. My memory is so bad. Like, my memory is absolutely terrible. And I know this wasn't that long ago, but I'm pretty sure I was on four medications. Again, I just don't remember what the fourth one was or why, like what it was for. I think maybe it was another antidepressant. I don't remember. I really don't remember. But I was put on these medications, and at the time, my anxiety and my depression were really, really bad. And specifically my anxiety. Like, I can't even put into words how anxious I was. I would wake up, and the first thing in the morning, like the first thoughts in my head would be just like anxiety thoughts, and I would be scared and full of dread and just so anxious that it would like I couldn't get through the day because I was just so anxious about everything. And so, I spoke to my family doctor. I would see him once a month, and every month I'd see him and I'd say, my depression's still really bad and my anxiety's still really bad. And so he kept just like upping the doses of my anti-anxiety medication and my antidepressants. And at one point, he upped the dose of my antidepressant, and it made me more depressed. And like, it made me like suicidal, and I am going to be talking a little bit about suicidal thoughts and an attempted suicide in this video, so just a warning. But yeah, it just made me really, really depressed and suicidal, and so I immediately scheduled an appointment with him and said, we got to lower the dose back down because yeah, it was bad. And so we lowered the dose of the antidepressant. And then, again, every time I'd see him, every month I'd see him, and I'd say, my anxiety's still really bad, my depression's still really bad, and he would adjust my medications a little bit, and eventually I was on so much medication. Like, I think I was only still on the four medications, but, and also I was taking testosterone because I'm a trans man, and I do hormone replacement therapy, but that has nothing to do with my mental health, so we're not including that in the number of medications I was on. But I was on four medications for my mental health, and I was on the doses were so high that I was just so tired all the time. It was like a side effect of one or more of the medications. It just made me so tired. Like, I was a zombie. I was like living in a fog. I could barely function. I could barely get out of bed. I'd like be napping all day. Like, I could barely get anything done. It was so bad. I was so tired. But like, I didn't know what else to do because I needed to be on a high dose of these medications to help with my mental health problems. And a side effect of that was that it made me really tired. So my options were either be really mentally ill and like struggling a lot, or be really, really, really tired. And so I chose being really, really, really tired. But I was still suffering with my depression and my anxiety. It was still really bad. So then my doctor gave me lorazepam, which is highly addictive. So he gave it to me and said I was only allowed to have it a few times a week. I think 3 times a week was the maximum amount that I was allowed to take it. He said when my anxiety got really bad, I was allowed to take a lorazepam. But the thing is, my anxiety got really bad every single day. So the days when I was allowed to take a lorazepam, it was better. But on the days when I wasn't allowed to have one, it was still just like unbearably bad. And so again, every time I'd see him, I'd be like, my depression is really bad, my anxiety is still really bad. And he, at one point, said, I feel uncomfortable giving you any more medication. Like, I can't give you a higher dose of any of the medications I'm giving you because I'm just not comfortable doing that. And so we kind of hit a wall, and I'm like, well, what do I do? I'm on all of the medication that my doctor is comfortable giving me, but I'm still incredibly depressed and I'm still incredibly anxious. So like, what do I do? And I'm just really tired all the time. I was like a zombie. Even my mom said to me that she thought I was on too high of a dose of the medications because I was just like not myself. I was just like so tired and just zombie-like. And so I was, we just kind of hit a wall. And that's why I'm a little frustrated with the fact that I'm not dealing with a psychiatrist. I'm dealing with my family doctor, because as much as I love my family doctor, if he had been a psychiatrist, maybe he would have been able to do something differently. Maybe he would have been able to switch up my medication. Maybe he would have been able to, figure something out. But instead, he just said, I can't help you. This is the best I can do. Sorry about it. And like, again, he was really nice about it. He's a great guy. I love my family doctor. Love him. I'm so, so, so happy to have a family doctor, and such a good family doctor. But he's not a psychiatrist. And so again, I was just stuck. Like I couldn't do anything about my mental illnesses. Like the doctor told me that was the maximum amount of medication I was allowed to be on. And I was still struggling so much. And at one point, I should mention, at one point also, my doctor switched out my antipsychotic, because my antipsychotic caused me to have an increased appetite, and that caused me to gain a lot of weight, and it just kind of sucks to be hungry all the time. So he switched me to a different antipsychotic that apparently is supposed to not be as bad in terms of giving you an increased appetite. But the new antipsychotic, I didn't really notice a difference. I was still very hungry all the time, so that didn't really work. But he tried. Like, again, I'm trying to give my doctor the benefit of the doubt here. He did try. He did. He really, really did. But it just wasn't good enough. And so in the summer of last year, my cat passed away, and then my depression got so, so bad. So, so, so bad. Because my cat was like what I lived for. Like, she was my best friend for a long time. She was my only friend. Like, she was the reason I didn't kill myself many times. Like, so losing her was absolutely devastating. And so then in, I believe it was August, I tried to kill myself. And then that didn't work, so I tried to kill myself again. And the second time I tried to kill myself, they put me in a psych ward. I was locked up in a psych ward for about a week, I think. And while I was there, a psychiatrist adjusted my medications. She put me on a different antipsychotic. She took away one of my medications altogether. The anti-anxiety medication, she said I was on way too high of a dose, so she lowered the dose of that. And I think that's all she did. I think maybe she lowered the dose of my antidepressant as well. I don't really remember. Again, my memory is absolutely terrible. But she did a bunch of stuff to my medications, changed up my medications, and like when I got out of the hospital, it was like finally, like I was so relieved that I had finally found the right cocktail of medications where I actually felt okay. And I actually was, like, for the first time in a long time, not suicidal, and I was able to get through the day, and I wasn't as tired as I had previously been. I still was tired, because, like, I'm always tired, but, like, I definitely was way, way, way less tired, and I wasn't like a zombie anymore, and I just felt great, and I was so thankful. Like, it sucked being trapped in a psych ward. Psych wards are not a fun place to be, generally speaking, and I didn't want to be there. I was very upset that I was being forced to be there, and I wish that my family doctor could have done what that psychiatrist did and just given me the medications that I'm currently on. But again, he's not a psychiatrist. He's not trained to know really what he's doing when it comes to this sort of stuff. So as much as I don't like that I had to be trapped in a psych ward for a week, it really saved my life, because again, this psychiatrist that I saw in the psych ward, she was able to give me proper medication that actually helped, and it was such a relief. And so I thought I was finally done. I thought, like, I finally found the right medications and the right doses. Like, we're done, we're good, it's over. It was a long journey, there was a lot of trial and error, but we finally reached a place where everything's good. Then, recently, my mental health has kind of, declined, gotten really bad. My PTSD has started absolutely kicking my ass and flaring up, and my depression has gotten really, really bad. And so now I have booked an appointment with my family doctor to discuss my medications and we'll see what he says. We'll see what he does. We'll see. And I'm nervous because I don't want. Oh, and I forgot to mention at one point last year when my doctor and I were trying to find the right combination of medications, at one point he put me on this medication that messed up my vision. It made my vision blurry. And that really freaked me out. That really, really freaked me out. And like I went to him and I was like, this medication is blurring my vision. It is giving me vision problems. Like this is not, I'm freaking out. And like he's like it's not that he didn't believe me, it's just I didn't feel like he took it as seriously as I wanted him to. He was very like cavalier about it, and I was like freaking out because I'm like, my vision, this is my vision, my eyesight, like you put, like what if this is permanent, what if this medication permanently messed up my vision? So he's like, you know, calm down. And he took me off that medication, and then my vision went back to normal, thank goodness, because it was absolutely terrifying to have messed up vision for a while there. You know, sorry to anyone watching this who has vision problems, but like it's terrifying when you go from having pretty much perfect vision, because I have basically perfect vision. I do have glasses. My vision's not 100% perfect, but it's like pretty good. I don't have to wear the glasses. Like I mostly don't wear them because again I don't really need them, but to go from having near perfect vision to just like everything being kind of blurry all the time, it's like that's really scary, that's really freaky. So like I'm scared he's gonna put me on a medication that's gonna do something like that to me, or I'm scared he's going to up my doses and then I'm gonna get really, really tired all the time again. Or, you know, he's going to increase the dose of my antidepressant and it's going to make me more depressed again. And like, you know, I'm really freaked out because like, I don't know, I don't really trust that he knows what he's doing. I'm sorry, doctor, if you're watching this. I love you so much. You are an amazing doctor. I would not trade you for the world. I'm so, so thankful to have you, but you are not a psychiatrist. And I don't really trust that you know what you're doing when it comes to prescribing me medications for my mental health. And then there's part of me that thinks that I'm going to talk to him and say, you know, my depression's really bad, my PTSD is really bad. And he's going to say, well, I don't feel comfortable giving you different medication. I don't feel comfortable giving you a higher dose. And then I'm just gonna hit a wall again. And it's just going to be like, well, I guess I just have to live like this, you know? And I mean, maybe that's the reality. Maybe there aren't medications that are actually going to fully help me. I mean, the medications help a lot, but like maybe I'll never find medications that will like fully make me okay, you know? And maybe that's not the goal that I should have. Maybe I should like lower my expectations when it comes to medications and just realize that they will help, but they're not. I mean, I didn't expect them to cure my mental illnesses. I didn't expect to just go on medication and suddenly be mentally well. But like I was kind of, I'm just kind of hoping that it can make things better. And they already have made things substantially better, but like it could be more better. It could be more better, you know? And so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Still trying to figure it out. And if you're somebody who is suffering with mental illnesses and you have yet to try to go on medication, you should. Please do. Medication has saved my life. It really, really has. It has absolutely increased the quality of my life. But just beware that, you know, going into it, that they're not just going to be able to give you medication and that's just going to immediately be perfect for you. It's going to take a lot of time for you to figure out the right medication and the right doses. So, you know, again, have realistic expectations and know that it's going to be a long process. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.